What are we going to do if we lose our jobs? The house could fall down because everyone says it's literally made of paper mache. Oh gosh, have we made the right decision doing this? This shouldn't be a thing that you do that young. It kind of does hurt my heart a little bit. So about a year ago, myself and my boyfriend Jasper, we decided to purchase a house, and I uploaded the whole process onto my YouTube channel. I uploaded an empty house tour, move-in vlogs, all that kind of stuff, and I also uploaded a video talking about how I bought a house at 21 years old, and that video actually got quite a lot of views, and so many people were interested in kind of like the whole process of buying a house. Now, I uploaded that video probably about a year ago now, so a year later I kind of just wanted to take a bit of time to reflect on the whole process. Like, honestly, the time has gone so quickly, and when we went to purchase a house, we could never have predicted what the last year would have been like. And we actually got the keys to this house 3 days before we went into our first lockdown. So honestly, it was so crazy timing, and we didn't actually realize at the time how lucky we were to get the keys when we did, because I genuinely didn't think that this whole situation in the world would go on for longer than like 3-4 weeks. And here we are a year later, and it is honestly crazy the timing of how everything kind of panned out. One of the biggest things to come out of that video, where I spoke about buying a house at 21 years old, was that you are so young, do you not want to live your life, sort of thing, and like, you're gonna regret this, like, this shouldn't be a thing that you do that young. And I kind of wanted to give my perspective on that a year later. So in that video a year ago, I talk a lot about the process of buying a house, and literally like a step-by-step exactly what we did, because it actually baffled me like how much I didn't know, and I relied a lot on the people around me and our financial advisor and just everything like that to kind of guide me. And I really wanted to make that video to show you how like the process goes. But a lot of people were also asking, what do me and my boyfriend do? So if you've watched my videos for a while, you will probably know this, but I am a digital marketing assistant and my boyfriend is a car mechanic. So not gonna lie, we have kind of pretty standard jobs, like nothing extra special, and we've worked in our jobs for a couple of years, and both of us didn't go to university, so we didn't have kind of like a student loan or anything like that. So yeah, that's kind of what we do as a job. And I kind of just wanted to mention that because we're not anything special. Like, my parents didn't give us money to purchase this house, nothing like that. So anyone can do it. And I also touched on in that video that we did the help to buy equity loan. So if you did want to go check that video out, then make sure you go do that. So the first thing I wanted to touch on is this whole thing around you shouldn't buy a house this young, and also you shouldn't settle down this young, and you should travel the world. You should use that money to experience life. Now, I'm just gonna say, if this past year has taught us anything, it's that we can literally not plan for the future. Like, we just got to take each day as it comes, because if I decided last year that instead of purchasing a house, I wanted to travel the world, we all know how that would have ended up. So I think for us, like, we just got so lucky that we bought the house at the time we did. So yeah, absolutely not. I do not regret it one single bit. Like, I would not change it for anything. And also, we've taken 1 year off our mortgage now. Like, it was a 25-year mortgage, now it's a 24-year. Like, this time has gone so quickly. I think one of our biggest worries was when this whole pandemic was happening and we were purchasing a house, was that we were going to lose our jobs. That was probably our biggest stress at the time, thinking like, purchasing this house, we're going to be with all this mortgage debt. What are we going to do if we lose our jobs? We kind of got so far into the process that it was kind of like no chance of backing out really by then. Like, we'd exchanged and we were just about to complete, and I think we're just gonna have to go for it. We can't get out of it really now. So that's what we did. And I think that was probably our biggest stress at the beginning. And then about a month after living here, Jasper got furloughed, my boyfriend Jasper, and then I got furloughed shortly after. Because obviously you guys already know that I am furloughed, so I'm actually currently not working, and honestly I have no idea when I'm actually going to go back to work. So there's a period of time where we were actually living with each other, in each other's space all day, every day. And I think that tests the relationship so much, because we had lived in a flat together previously for 6 months. We rented to kind of like test our relationship a little bit, to see whether we could actually live together, because there are so many couples that move in together and then break up. So we did that and it worked out perfectly, but we were going to work every single day separately. Like, we had kind of a lot of time apart. Whereas having a couple of weeks where we literally were in each other's space all day, every day, I'm sure a lot of you guys have probably experienced this over the past year as well. Like, it was a true test, and I know if we had lived at home, we probably would have been at our own separate houses. So it really did test our relationship, and it was perfect. Like, I honestly literally loved being with Jasper every single day, and it was just so easy. And from a relationship perspective, like, it worked out fine. Like, could you imagine like purchasing a house, getting furloughed, and then literally hating each other after? Like, that would be awful. But no, I do not have any regrets from that time either. So I just think you're either two different types of people. You're the type of person that wants to settle down and just have their own place, but also from like an investment perspective. Like, ultimately, I'm at the age where I kind of want my own space. And I could rent, which we did prior to buying this house, but it honestly felt like we had nothing to show for it at the end. And don't get me wrong, we're paying a mortgage, we're paying huge amounts, thousands of pounds a year on interest on that loan. But at the end of the day, we own part of the house, even if we don't own like the full house sort of thing. And that for me just makes it feel so much more worthwhile. So for us, we decided to spend our money on a house deposit, whereas a lot of other people probably at our age would spend that money on traveling and stuff like that. I think it really depends on the type of person you are. Us, right now, this house is honestly perfect. Perfect location, surrounded by all our friends and family. And if we want to go on holiday, we can go on holiday. If we want to travel around a bit, we can. But I think I am not the type of person to go traveling for like 7 months or something. Like, I just couldn't do that whole backpacking life, and I know that. And I think for me, I value investing my money into a property, which we have something to kind of like show for the end of it. So yeah, no regrets there. So on that video a year ago, I also touched on the fact that we had a Help to Buy equity loan. So we actually took a 20% government loan towards our house, so that we only had to put technically a 5% deposit down. So we put a 5% deposit down and then paid a little bit extra off the mortgage. So we have an interest-free loan of 20% of our house for 5 years, and then after the 5 years we start getting charged interest on it. So our goal has been that we wanted to save X amount every single year so that we could pay off this loan. And obviously we're now 1 year down, so it's another year closer to starting being charged interest on that. So we're super conscious of that. And I think that's probably like one thing that I do think about, is that if we had lived at home during this time, like during the past year where we didn't go anywhere, we didn't do anything, we hardly spent out on anything, we would have had so much more money to put in towards a deposit for this house. Like, it kind of does hurt my heart a little bit that we could have like made a bigger deposit, but like financially, we are so lucky. So I think what I'm trying to say is that if we hadn't bought this house, we would have had a bigger deposit to put down, which would have been a bonus. So I do kind of think about that sometimes, but also we've also been able to save for our equity loan, which is really good. But I'm pleased that 1 year later we are on track for paying that off, because it is kind of one of those things that is a little bit in the back of your mind that you kind of want to do. Like, we don't entirely know how much our house is going to be worth by then. So the 20% equity loan is 20% of the price of your house. So whenever you want to pay something off, you have to get your house valued, and they'll say how much you owe them. So it is a little bit risky, but I think because it is interest free, the likelihood of your house going up so much that you'd have to pay more than you would have paid on interest if you got it in a mortgage, if that makes sense, that's how I kind of view it, is worth it. So even if you have to pay a little bit more, you probably would have paid more in interest. But even if it comes to it and we owe more than we've saved up, we'll think about remortgaging or moving or anything like that. So I think now, a year later, I'm so happy that we did make the decision to purchase this house and we did do the equity loan, because there was a lot of stuff around that where people were saying you definitely shouldn't do the equity loan. And there were times where I thought, oh gosh, have we made the right decision doing this, because it is a huge financial thing. So yeah, I'm just really happy that I feel content with what we're doing. I think everyone's gonna have an opinion on everything you do, but for us, I just want to share my experience, and yeah, I'm quite happy. So the one thing that I've learned over the past year is that hidden costs just appear randomly. So something will go wrong which you'll need to pay out for, something will happen that you need backup money for, and even at the moment our boiler's gone wrong and we could potentially have to pay out for something. Like, there are constantly things just cropping up that you're gonna need to pay out for. And even though it's easy, like we have a new build, the likelihood of something going wrong and we have to pay for it is so slim. but it still does happen. Like for example, our back door handle snapped off. I've spoken about it so many times in my video. But it literally just snapped off. But yeah, in terms of like hidden costs, there's always going to be things that crop up which you're not expecting. So you just got to account for that and just make sure that you have enough in your savings that you're not spending every little penny you have. For us, we have kind of like house savings and then we have holiday savings. We've kind of budgeted it in that way. So we've got our house savings for our equity loan, stuff like that, and then we also have kind of like a little holiday fund with money in that's the money we'll touch. So say we've run out of money and we need to purchase something, we'll go into that little pot there, the holiday fund. So that's kind of worked really well for us, and I think I mentioned this in a couple of videos, but me and my boyfriend Jasper, we've made the decision to completely kind of like combine our money. We just put everything in a joint account and it just makes life so much easier. I know that's totally personal preference, but for us, like, I know Jasper's not going to go spend £3,000 on a Gucci jumper, do you know what I mean? We just have trust with each other that not one person's just going to spend all the money. And yeah, and I think when you get to a point where you're ready to live together, like, you kind of just have that in place already. And especially from when we rented a house, like, we've really got a true idea of what each other's like, and definitely recommend that if you are thinking of purchasing a house, maybe give renting a go before you do that. I think for me, like, living in our own house and doing things together, me and Jasper, and just kind of like living independently has given me a whole new perspective on life, and I just feel so motivated in my own space. And especially, most of you guys know that I work from home all day every day just by myself. Like, Jasper goes to work and I just love it so much. Like, my mood isn't impacted by anyone else. I don't have to worry about going down to the kitchen in the middle of the night if I need to and waking everyone up, or getting up super early and waking my mum up. You got to be kind of like super considerate to the other people that you live with, whereas because it's just me and my boyfriend Jasper, we can do what we want. If we want to stay up till 2 AM, we will. Like, you guys know, if you watch my vlogs, that my boyfriend Jasper, he loves staying up till literally like 4 AM playing his game or watching TV. Like, he's a night owl. He just loves it. For us, we've kind of just got this new level of independence now, which I absolutely love. And I think also because neither of us went to university, we kind of never had that kind of period where we moved out in with friends or anything like that. So it's kind of just a whole new world for us, really. Yeah, I really love it. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm so excited to go see my mum after all of this and go stay at hers. Like, it's just gonna be so nice. Yeah, I think for us, like, we really started to thrive in our own space and kind of just enjoy it and enjoy the moment and not worrying about the future. Like, who knows what could happen? Our house could fall down because everyone says it's literally made of paper mache, because apparently new builds are built so rubbish. But at the moment, it's not too bad apart from the door handle. But yeah, I think we've just kind of found our own routine and doing our own thing. I know a lot of people look forward to the day that they can move out or the day that they can do this, and honestly, it's so worth it. Like, if you're waiting to move out and buy a house and have your own space, or even just move out to rent, like, it's just so exciting and just so nice to have your own freedom. Like, it depends what type of person you are as though. Like, I love my own company and Jasper likes his own company, and we can kind of do things separately but then also spend time together. Like, it's just such a nice mix, and for us that really, really works. Yeah, I just love the whole dynamic that we got going on, and especially because it's been a whole year now. Like, we've got into such a perfect routine. I think the things that I love the most about living with my boyfriend and just living in our own house is just doing fun things that you kind of wouldn't really do when you live at home. I mentioned this recently in a video where when you kind of live, me and my boyfriend, we were living between kind of like our parents' house. So one day he would stay around mine, the next day I'd go back to his. Like, we were living between each other's houses together. I know a lot of couples probably do that kind of like before they get their own space, and it's so weird how you literally spend kind of all day in your bedroom and you just go to sleep at the same time. You feel like you need to do kind of like everything together, whereas now we're kind of living our own lives together. And I don't know if that makes any sense, but if I want to go make a pizza or I want to go watch my own programs, I can just go do that, whereas he can just play his game, he can chat to his friends, like, he can literally do whatever he wants. But then we also have time together, and I think that's what I've learned a lot about kind of like actually living in your own place together over this past year, is that you can be an independent person but also live with someone, which I really like. So yeah, who knows what the next year will hold. But I think at this moment in time, we've 100% made the right decision. I have no regrets about anything that we've done, and I'm just so glad we went for it. Like, genuinely, if we hadn't have just taken the plunge, and it's just so weird how things happen at the right time. Like, when I was talking about purchasing this house a year ago and how we did it, and this was actually one of the first houses that we viewed. I saw it on Rightmove and I thought, this looks so nice, and I came and viewed it with my parents, and then the next day, so the Sunday, the estate agent rang me and said, I'm free if you want to come have a look. So me and my boyfriend Jasper, we came and had a look at it, and then that evening we put in an offer. So it just happened so kind of like strangely, like it happened so quickly. Like, I genuinely thought, like, when it came to buying a house, like, I'd be house hunting for months type thing and sussing out all the options, and it just happened. Everything that's meant to happen will happen quite easily, and that's just the way it all kind of worked out. And even just the whole mortgage process went so quickly, and everything just like was just happening, and I feel like it was meant to be because it just happened so easily. And I've also realized it's so hard to get a house where we live. Like, houses are literally going instantly, and I honestly just don't know how we managed to get this house and how it all happened, but we are here. I think also one thing that I did want to mention is that we've been super realistic with this house, kind of like from the beginning financially. We've never taken on anything too big for us to kind of like keep up with. Our mortgage payments aren't super high that we can't keep up with them. Like, we've done everything quite sensibly, and I'm super grateful for that, especially because last year was so unpredictable. And I just think if you are wanting to buy a house, just be sensible. Don't take on anything too unrealistic for you, and yeah, enjoy it, because there are so many people that tried to tear me down last year, I'm not gonna lie, that said like, you're so stupid for buying a house. But you know what, I love it, and if you want to go travel and you want to spend your money on that, you go do that. But for me, yeah, I'm super happy. So I hope you guys did enjoy today's video, and if you have any questions about kind of like purchasing a house, doing the Help to Buy, all that stuff, like, let me know. And yeah, I will definitely chat to you guys. Definitely check out that video a year ago if you haven't. And I wonder if I look any older. I need to watch the video back and see if I look older, because I don't think I've changed at all in a year. But then you look back and you're like, oh, what is going on there? So I definitely need to go back and have a look at that video. I also just want to say, as I don't think there's any right time to do certain things in your life. Like, if you're 40 and buying your first house, like, that's fine. Like, I don't feel like I'm too young. I don't feel like you should be too old. Like, I hate this whole thing around doing things at a certain age. If you want to buy a house at 18, you go do it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just don't want anyone to feel pressure to do anything. Like, your life is yours. You make it exactly how you want to make it. Like, don't let anyone tell you otherwise. And I think that's the happiest you're gonna be, and I can truly say that from my own experience. I think you just know what's right for you, and trust that you can do things exactly the way that you want to do them. And not everyone has it figured out. Like, who knows what the next few years will hold. I hope you guys keep up with all the vlogs and the videos and stuff like that to see what we get up to. And yeah, I hope you guys have a lovely evening. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up if you did enjoy it, because it does really support my channel. And also subscribe so you don't miss out on any other videos. And other than that, hope you guys have a lovely evening, and I shall see you all again very, very soon. Bye.